world into a very small pocket, making it look like a village. I'll give you an example. If you look at people that carry around BlackBerry, you can be having a chat with somebody who is in Canada, who is in Australia. Australia is several thousands of kilometers away, of miles away. But on your BlackBerry, you can be chatting with that guy. That's what globalization has brought to us. Years ago, I had an admission into Harvard Business School for an MBA. There was no internet at that time. My letter came to my office. I had a full scholarship to take a master's degree in that very, very good school, at one of the top schools, top universities in the world. The letter came, it was in the office. I did not know. And that was how I lost the admission. Today, I don't need to wait for a letter. On my phone, I'll get my admission letter. That's what preparation has done. You can be in Lagos today and be trading on the Melbourne Stock Exchange. You can be trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange. That's what preparation has done. Diversity. What do I mean by that? Or what do we mean by that? We're saying bringing everything together is part of the fact that everything is different. In Nigeria alone, we have how many ethnic groups? Over 350 to 500 ethnic groups, depending on how you want to count it. If you look at how the world is so diversified, but everything is brought together into a global village. And the final part of which, democracy and education. How are these two elements related to education? They're related to education because individuals, children, pupils like you, have to be prepared for that future role to be able to survive in a globalized environment, which puts a lot of responsibility on all of us. And that's what I'll be discussing with you today. So basically, to you pupils, the most important thing you need to realize is the fact that you have not even started. The road is still very, very far. Because for you to catch up with the latest developments in society, in the world at large, you must really, really put on the hammer and be ready to do a lot more. Let's just quickly go on. Like I said, the outline, some of which I've talked about already, I'll make it quick. I said, if you look at the definition I have there, I said globalization is a process of enabling financial and investment markets to operate internationally, largely as a result of deregulation and improved communication. I just use an example of communication while I was talking about blackberries and co like that. Last week I was in Kenya. I was doing a transaction in East Africa, and while I was in Kenya, I was having a meeting with a guy who at that time happens to be in Saskatchewan. That's a part of Canada. We were discussing the financial terms of the transaction that was concluded in Nairobi. You can't imagine how it was. It was clear. We were discussing over the phone. Transaction worth billions of dollars. If you look at it years back, this was not possible. That's what globalization has done. So you can sit. Let me also let you know that today you can sit in your office and be trading on stock exchanges that are thousands of miles away, and you'll be making your money or losing your money as the case may be. Because as you trade, you make money or you also lose money. So that's what globalization is. Let's move on quickly. I talked about diversity already. Different type of people, different type of culture, different varieties all over the place. And all these varieties must work together in a globalized environment to facilitate growth and development. Democracy, we all know democracy, which is very important, which is what the world is moving towards. I won't waste more time on that. Basically, government of the people, by the people, for the people. One thing we all have to accept is that the world is constantly changing. What was yesterday is no longer what is today. And the rate of change is becoming so fast that we cannot afford to rest on our words. You see, for our parents, they have even seen a lot. For most of the parents that are elderly, they are getting to the departure lounge. For most of us, we are just getting into the arrival lounge. So we still have a journey to make. So we cannot afford not to understand the changes that are taking place in our environment. Like I said, what is relevant today might no longer be relevant in a couple of years because of changes that are taking place in the environment. Some of which we'll still talk about. And for us, as pupils, we must find ways of continuously updating ourselves for us to be able to compete and effectively participate in what is happening in the real world. To point home. I was in Hong Kong early part of this year, April. And I'll tell you the truth, we are nowhere compared to these other countries in the world. The transport system